Welcome to the Following the Joy podcast with me, Debbie Westwell, confidence and mindset coach and massive travel enthusiast. This podcast is a place to talk about being the best version of yourself, following your heart, making scary changes and having fun on this adventure that we call life. I'm your biggest cheerleader and I want you to know that it is never too late to start over and make a life you are excited to get out of bed for. So let's go and get following the joy. In today's episode, I am talking to Nina Gibson, who is the owner of the Organise Pod, and she is a professional declutterer and organiser, and she's part of, who knew this? There is an association of the professional declutterers and organisers, which is fabulous. We talk about all things like decluttering through your life, organising your life, how it's really important to declutter before organising. We talk about the emotions behind getting rid of some of the stuff, how we can sometimes get into a bit of a messy state, how she can help you. She gives us some great hints and tips on what steps to take to kind of start to reduce down any clutter or piles or stuff that you've got in your house. And it's just a really warm, friendly, lovely conversation, and you'll certainly get some bits and pieces out of it to take away. So as always, I hope you love it. Hi, Nina. Welcome to the Following the Joy podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
Hi, Debbie. It's nice to be here. Nice to see you.
Oh, so this one for me is like something that I'm super passionate about. I can't wait to get stuck into our conversation. But obviously, our listeners don't know who you are. So for our lovely listeners, just go ahead and introduce yourself if you don't mind.
That's fine. I'm Nina. I'm a professional declutterer and organiser, which is a bit of a mouthful, but basically, I love helping people organise their stuff. If they're overwhelmed with having too much stuff, that's where I like to get in and help as much as I can.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I love everything to do with decluttering. I'm a bit of a tidy freak. Like I am that person who folds her knickers in her drawers. And, you know, like it just makes sense to me. But for the people like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, that's a bit like me and my husband. Yeah, my side's not tidy. I mean, it's nah. As long as they're clean, they're okay.
So, how long have you been doing this for?
This is my fourth year now. So I did my training during lockdown, and then as we came out of lockdown, started helping out in my friends and family, and then just started building up gradually from there, getting my own clients.
So what did you do before that?
So years ago, I started as a dental nurse. That was my first job.
Oh, wow.
Leaving school. So for about 7 years, I was a dental nurse, and I've always liked to have things organised. So that really fitted in with everything that I do, having everything laid out on the tray, all the instruments, passing things to the dentist. And so that was my first job. And then I worked as a teaching assistant when my kids were little. And again, all the organisational thing, getting things prepared. But just, it just seemed very natural to me to do. So, so I've had different sorts of jobs, but all kind of with a theme of organisation, getting things prepared, knowing where everything is, just because you needed to for the jobs that I was doing. So it just made sense in the end to do something that actually was that job.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And I love also the fact that you've managed to kind of make your life work, like make the jobs that you've had work around your life, So like obviously you're no longer a dental nurse and you were teaching assistant, which worked when your children were at school and stuff. And I think that's probably what a lot of our listeners want, whether they've got children or not, is to kind of have that life that works around their family, their commitments, their priorities. And I think ultimately everybody just wants that freedom to do what they want, what freedom over their diary and stuff, don't they? As opposed to,
exactly,
kind of, well, it's what I definitely wanted. I'm sure some people need that 9 to 5,
Yes.
They need that structure. But for me, obviously, it wasn't like that at all. So obviously you were passionate about keeping things nice and tidy, and you would have had to do so throughout your children's lives, but also throughout being a dentist, obviously clean, because otherwise then there's all sorts of lawsuits going on, right? But talk to me about learning to be a professional declutterer and organiser. Is it more of the psychology side, or is it a bit of everything?
It's a little bit of everything. So I'm a member of APTA, which is the Association of Professional Declutterers and Organisers. So there is such a thing. And it's a growing organisation. It's 20 years that it's been going. So I think there's about 400 declutterers and organisers that belong to the association. So they do their own in-house training, it's normally face to face, but because I did it in a lockdown, it was over Zoom. And so, yeah, they just take you through the whole process of how to get clients, how to go ahead planning sessions, and lots of different training about how to organise paperwork, how to be a good listener, certain things like that. And it's a very, very good supportive community. So if, any of us have any questions about how to tackle a certain situation, can just go to the group and learn from each other, really. So
your community is so important, isn't it?
Really,
no matter
really important.
what you do, whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever you're doing in your life, community is important, especially when you've got your own business, because you sometimes find yourself on your own wearing all hats. So you've got to do finance, you've got to do marketing, you've got to do sales, you've got to do the actual business, you've got to do creation. Well, you've got to kind of entertain yourself as well. And sometimes you're just like, I just need somebody to support me.
Somebody to support, yeah. It can be very lonely, like you say. And it's good to know that just at the end of your computer or your phone, you've got someone that you can just ask for some advice about certain situations. Yeah.
Oh, fab. Right. So talk to me about all the things decluttering. Like, who is your normal kind of person that you're helping? Is it a range of different people, or do you find it's kind of like mainly a certain type of person?
At the moment, because it's early days in my business, there are lots of different types of people. So some younger, some older, some with children, some without children. Mainly people that are just overwhelmed with having too much stuff in their homes. So, and that, that can be anybody. There's not really a particular.
Yeah. I mean, everybody needs decluttering and organising. And like, I think you've hit the nail on the head with the word overwhelm there, haven't you? Because I think all of us have been guilty. I like to think that I keep things tidy, but obviously before we started this interview, I did disclose to you that I'm currently living between two properties. And so my life is like constantly living out the suitcase, and there's bags and books and all sorts of stuff flying everywhere. And I keep looking at it like I need to organise. But then I kind of get into my head sometimes, right, okay, I'm going to focus on doing, editing my podcasts or whatever it is today. And then I never get round to it. And then, I'm conscious of the fact that that can then grow and grow and grow. And that's how people do get into overwhelm, isn't it? Like maybe, I mean, I know somebody who, her mum was getting sick. And so she was basically using her flat as a dumping ground. So she would kind of go in after work, dump her stuff down, grab some food, go straight off to her parents' house to spend time with her mum to help her dad with the caring duties and stuff. And then when she would get back, it would just literally be a case of sleeping, then rinse, repeat, day after day after day. Yeah. And so what she found was she was just like throwing things into a flat. She disassociated herself with that warm, fuzzy home feeling of a flat. And it was just basically all the negative feelings to do with running around and having to look after her mum. And then eventually her mum passed, and she still struggled to kind of get through all of that, like decluttering and getting rid of stuff, because it all had the energy of how she was feeling of when she was, spending time with her mum in her mum's last days. And so, it doesn't even have to be you are a hoarder or you are, doing something wrong. We sometimes just get a little bit overwhelmed by no fault of our own, because we're just literally surviving each day as we're going, don't we?
Exactly. I think we're all the same. I mean, people always say to me, oh, your house is always tidy. And to a degree it is, but there are times as well when it's messy, life happens. We all, you can't always put things away at that particular moment. I think the thing is just if you know where things go, that's half the problem. So when you do have a mess, just to have a quick tidy around and think, oh, I've got 10 minutes and I know where everything goes, that's half the problem. It's when people have, things and I have no idea where anything goes. So I'll just leave it in this pile here. Yes. And then that pile gets bigger and bigger because there's more things that they've no idea where everything goes. So the piles appear, and then that gets too overwhelming. So then you look around and you think, well, there's piles of stuff everywhere. I have no idea where to start. So you don't. And then start another pile somewhere else. And it very quickly builds up.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I guess I do, not for tidying, but for cleaning. So I guess this would work for other people as well. ad break. If I'm watching like a treat, sometimes I don't watch a lot of television, but when I do, it's normally absolute dross on the television. Do you know what I mean? It's normally something rubbish that I don't need to think about. But when the ads are on, I'll quickly run and do like rinse around the sink, and then the next ad I'll run and I'll clean the toilet or something like that. So it feels like I'm treating myself to watching TV, but I'm also doing something practical at the same time. So I guess if you have a home for everything and things are just out, like if you've got children's toys out and things like that, ad break cleaning could work for you.
Absolutely.
But I guess if you've got more, then you need you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good example of, you just said the ad break technique. There's not one thing that works for everybody. It's, we're all individual. We've all got different homes, different lifestyles. So what works for one won't work for another. But if you find something that works for you, then that's perfect. The ad break technique is a great one. It's, I like that one. I think I'm going to use that.
Use it. Like 3 or 4 minutes to do a quick blast of something.
Exactly. Start watching TV and that's just but like you say, then it makes you think, well, I've got to tidy around in the ad, and then I can sit down for a minute. And it's that rewarding yourself of, I've tidied up, right, I'm going to sit down, watch the end of my program, or I'll tidy this bit and then I'm going to have a cup of tea, or I'll tidy this, then I'll go and do something for me.
Like giving yourself a reward to say once you've done it. Okay, so for anybody who's listening and is thinking, oh my God, I'm in that second category of like, I don't have a place for things, I just can't find space, what would you advise people to do?
Okay, so I think the easiest thing is to think logically. So if you have a pile of something in front of you now, have a look at the pile, pick something up and think, right, well, where logically would this go? So if you pick something off the top and it's a t-shirt, okay, where do t-shirts belong? Okay, they belong upstairs in my drawers. So they can go on, and then you can work through the pile of things logically like that, picking it up. What is it? It's, I don't know, a pencil sharpener. Well, where do pencil sharpeners live? Okay, they might live in the drawer in the kitchen, or in the junk drawer, but at least, it might not be their final resting place, but at least if it's a place that that you can put something in, even if it is the junk drawer, then at least it's in a place, and you've started a process of thinking through where things can go logically.
Yeah. And it's just like, I guess, one little tiny piece at a time. Don't tackle it as a whole pile.
No.
Tackle it as one tiny item at a time.
Exactly. Like with your ad break technique, you could say, right, for 5 minutes, I'm going to look through this pile. I'm going to pick 5 things up and I'm going to find a home for them. Where do these 5 things go? And just do it like that. Break it down into small, manageable sections. And then for 5 things in 5 minutes, you can, usually find somewhere for them to go. Preferably not on another pile. Or if it's or at least if you're having piles, have piles of the same sorts of things. So have a pile of t-shirts, have a pile of pencil sharpeners, have a pile of pens, so that your piles are all same things. Keep like things together, and then find a logical place where those things should go in your house. So for my house, it might make sense to put my pencil sharpeners on my desk. In your house, that might be the worst place because you don't sit at your desk. You might sit downstairs in the lounge. So, wherever things logical to you, that's where you should try and put your things.
Yeah. And try to avoid the junk drawer. Everybody's got a junk drawer. Honestly, maybe we should start like a trending thing on social media to be like, right, show us a picture of your junk drawer.
Junk drawer. Yeah, exactly. And then what is in the junk drawer? Usually if you tip everything out in the junk drawer, is that you can find, there is usually a place for it all to go. It's just, well, it's quicker to throw it in that drawer. And then if I ever get round to it, then I'll sort that drawer out. But the thing with that is that you usually look for something like a pencil sharpener, can't find it, so I'll go and buy another one. So then you've got another pencil sharpener that you've bought because you can't find the last one because somewhere it's in the junk drawer. So, and then you end up buying another pencil sharpener, so now you've got 2, and the whole thing carries on and tumbles. And then if it's the same with everything, that's how things build up, because you can't find anything, you've no idea where it is. I'll go and buy another one, and then before you know it, you've got 6 of one thing, 10 of another thing, and they're all in different places. You still can't find one when you need one.
And for me, I keep all of the rubbish, all of it. So like if I get a bag with a bow on, I'll keep the bow just in case I need to use it for somebody else. But by the time somebody else's birthdays come around and I thought, oh, I do reuse gift bags in general.
Yeah.
But like if I've had something with a bow on, if I've had something in a box, I'll use that. And then I put it somewhere. And then like you said, I'm like, oh, I can't remember, or I'm rushing. I'm like, oh, it's such and such a birthday. Oh, I bought this, beautiful. I'll just go and buy a bag, or I'll buy this. And then I ended up with like, I've got little pom-pom things in there. I've got like packaging stuff. And then I'm like, am I ever going to use this? I go through maybe once a year. Am I ever going to use this? I just bin. But I come from kind of like a family that I don't like to waste things, like I think my parents, or maybe our parents, learned from their parents, and they came from a war generation where it was like mend things, repair things, keep things as long as you possibly can. And whilst some of that is like a really good process to take forward of, prolonging the life of things so we don't have this like throwaway society, we don't have to as much anymore. And so I think sometimes we're still holding on to those stories and things that we've heard as a childhood, like don't throw away these screws. When you've like made, I don't know, IKEA or the flat pack furniture is available, there's always one screw left over. You've no idea how you've missed one, and then you put it in a drawer somewhere. Why?
Exactly, because you might need it for something.
Yeah. Okay, so for everybody listening who's going, oh, it's all right for you to say, go away and fold your t-shirt and find the pile of t-shirts. What happens if I open my t-shirt drawer and in room in it? So like I live in a 1-bedroom flat and I've had to be very creative with storage space. So I do have to have like a winter and summer wardrobe. But how do you help people kind of choose what to get rid of, if that makes sense, to make space?
Yeah, okay. So going with the t-shirt scenario. So usually we all have far too many clothes that we can ever wear. Or the same with anything. So before you start to organize anything, you always should really declutter, because then you've got less things to organize, you've got more space. And then realistically, do we wear everything that we've got? So with the t-shirts, I would get them all out, all on your bed or the floor, and then pick each one up again, one by one. Do I like it? First question, do I like it? Does it suit me? Does it fit me? When was the last time I wore it? And just ask these same questions to yourself. So, and if you don't like it, then it definitely goes on the pile to go. If you like it, and then ask yourself all these questions as you go through, and then have the 2 piles, to keep or to go piles. And then usually the to keep pile is usually a lot smaller than the to go pile in the end. You don't think it when you look, because you think, oh, actually, I like that one. But actually, when you pick it up and look at it, you think, oh, yeah, no, it's not really my colour now. It's, or maybe 10 years ago it looked okay. And so, yeah, it can go on the to go pile. And then once you've decluttered and you've reduced your pile of t-shirts, then you can usually find that you can fit most of them, if not all of them, in the space that you've actually got.
Yeah. I think it should come with a warning, though, about emotions, shouldn't it, really? Because we can get overly attached to things. Like how many times, how many of you listening now have got that pair of jeans or that dress or that outfit that you wore for a birthday, whether it was your 30th birthday, whatever, and you no longer fit into it, but you're hoping one day that you might, and it's still sitting there, and all it's doing is just holding dust and space, keeping up your energy of a time that you're trying to get back to when we can't go backwards. And it's maybe best selling it, gifting it to somebody else who can love it, wear it and use it. It's rude to keep stuff in your wardrobe if you're not going to use it. Let somebody else take it out for a spin and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. But equally, if it is something that holds a lot of memories to you, there is no need to get rid of things like that. If it means a lot to you and it's not taking up space that you need to put something else in, don't make things a problem if they're not a problem.
Like
do you see what I mean? It's like,
so just kind of go easy on yourself and just
I think people always think, oh, you're going to tell me to throw everything away, and I would never ever tell anybody to throw anything away for a start, because they're personal things to you, and if it's not causing you a problem and you've got space in your wardrobe for that, whatever it is, it's like wedding dresses. People, you're so attached to a wedding dress, and then usually they sit up in a loft or the back in a cupboard somewhere for however long, and you still don't get rid of them because it's all the memories that are attached to that day. And if it's not causing any issues, then you don't have to get rid of things.
Yeah. Okay. So declutter first. Get rid of what you can that's not going to overly tax you emotionally, like doesn't suit you anymore, or isn't the right color, or you've kind of changed. I don't know, whatever it is, and then organize. So I've seen on some of your posts on socials all these super duper containers for organization and storage and stuff. So do you help people with that? Do you help people purchase those? Do you take them with you when you're helping people? How does it work?
Yeah, definitely. I help some clients with their storage issues if that's what they're wanting. And usually when I go to a client's house, I can, after an hour or so, you can tell what sort of storage is going to be suitable for them. So some people like to be able to see things straight away. So they want something that's clear baskets or clear boxes so they can see what's in them as soon as they look at it without having to open a cupboard. So yes, it's most people like things that are clear, that they can see through, because it just helps them to remember what they've actually got in that cupboard or drawer.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Okay, so can you do this online as well with people?
Yes.
Yeah. So you just kind of like video camera around.
You can do a video camera round, and not even that if you don't want to. So I can just coach people through, just like we're doing now, take things out of your wardrobe, put them in front of you. So it doesn't have to be an in-house consultation. It can be by video link or even a phone call, just talking somebody through if they're wanting to get rid of something that holds, special memories to them. Do you just need to talk through why you want to get rid of it now?
Yeah. So it's almost like that emotional support that you're providing as well to kind of help them, because I think everybody probably thinks, oh yeah, I could easily do that. But then when you actually do go to maybe tidy something and you hit that blocker and you're like, oh, I can't. And maybe you're downsizing, maybe, you're moving somewhere and you physically need to reduce down stuff. And you just, I guess you're that beautiful soul that handholds people and supports them through it, aren't you?
Exactly. I think sometimes it's just not that you need permission from somebody else, but sometimes it's just nice to talk things through with somebody else and just to say, well, what do you think? Should I get rid of it? Should I keep it? And just sometimes voicing how you're feeling helps.
Kind of, helps you process through those emotions and understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling, why you were attached to it, and whether it should go or whether it should stay with you, basically. I mean, I'm going to say something that might really annoy people now, but at the end of the day, there's only one way out for all of us. We're all going to die at some point. And when we go, somebody else has to clean up all of our stuff. So I do this with my sister a lot. I don't have children, so my sister is my sole benefactor. So when I say, oh, I'm just going through a big tidying up session, she's like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, because if I die, you've got to come and do it otherwise. And then she's like, okay, you crack on. You just leave what you want to leave, and that's fine. And I think you've just got to be a little bit at peace with leaving things. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have material possessions, don't we? Especially, we're trying to fit into these boxes of, you must earn a certain amount per year, you must own a property, you must have the nicest car, the nicest clothes. We see it all on televisions, in magazines and stuff. And we put a lot of onus on the actual property that we own, be it a dress, be it a car, be it a property, like a house or a home or whatever it is. But actually, it's about experiences as well, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to have an emotional attachment to everything, I guess is what I'm saying.
No.
But I think it's okay if you do. Also, that's what you were saying as well.
Yes. And it's amazing what emotions, that different things, it could be something quite random that somebody has an attachment to, but it just brings back a memory from a time or an event.
Yeah.
And then it's just,
And I'm quite spiritual as well. So I'm quite woo in the fact that I love everything to do with energy. You're feeling people's energies. I've trained in Reiki. I'm like an energy healer anyway. And I'm a big believer in, actually, when you want to bring abundance into your life, the first thing I encourage people to do is declutter, because some of those things that you've got lying around that you haven't used for years, that dress from the prom that, you had an all right night at, but you're not really associated with it anymore. It doesn't fit you. It's sitting in the wardrobe. That's holding energy from your past. And you need to kind of clean it out, get rid of all of that kind of like stagnant energy of things. Maybe you went through a breakthrough and you've got a handbag from an ex-boyfriend or partner or girlfriend or whoever bought it for you. And you're like, oh, you're never going to use it again because, quite frankly, it brings back emotions from that time, or like you're angry at them and you don't ever want to see anything to do with them again. Well, again, it's holding that energy. So if we can clear out some energy, and going back to what we said before, like obviously if it's super emotional to you and it's a keepsake and a treasure, then keep it, it's fine. But if it's kind of like, a memory from the past, it's just holding on to energy, you're not using it. And once you start clearing out that energy, it makes space for more things to flow into your life. And so you genuinely do start to see more abundance coming in and things like that. And you can use it on the same vein as, either give it away to a charity shop, but with a really heartfelt energy of, I'm so glad that I get to gift these, A, so a charity will make money off it, but B, because somebody else can also love them, or sell them. If you've got stuff in your property, whatever it is, sell it on, like, there's Vinted, there's other types of things, there's Facebook Marketplace, there's eBay. Sell it, make some money, and then go and treat yourself to something awesome. But so I mean, I love that. I love that whole energy side of things. But okay, so I mean, obviously I've seen the programs, but are there like extreme hoarders that you also help?
A couple of hoarders I've worked with in the last year or so. I'm just in the process of doing a hoarding disorder course at the moment, so I'm just halfway through that. So it's a very complex and
because that's a lot more psychological work, isn't it? With people,
a lot more. Yes, it's a completely different thing to decluttering and organising. It's a lot of psychological talking through things, and
probably a longer process as well. I would imagine
a very long process. Yes, I mean, with any decluttering, it's not a quick process. I think that's what people are mostly surprised about. So I usually suggest 3 hours as a session, and usually people think, oh, that's a long time, but actually 3 hours, you can get a lot done in 3 hours, but also you can also not get a lot done because it's a lot of talking through things, and it's quite exhausting because you are thinking a lot about each thing that you're doing and making decisions and going through a process. So it is quite time consuming, and a lot more time consuming than most people would think.
But then I guess it gets a little bit addictive as well, So I think once you start to see a result, you're probably like, oh, I want to do a bit more of it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And people are encouraged that, yes, you start working out systems, because, anybody could, in 3 hours, you could just go into anywhere and literally clear a place, put everything away where I think it should go to. But then in a few days' time, it can be back to where it was, because we haven't learned the process of where to put things. What are we thinking about when something's got to go away, something? Working out a system that works for you, works for your family, works for the household that you live in. It's not going to happen in 3 hours. You can get a certain amount done, so it looks better, but actually teaching processes and learning new strategies takes time. It's habit building. Right, when I've taken something off, I put it in my drawer, or when I've dirtied a dish, it goes either in the sink or the dishwasher, and learning processes takes time.
Yeah, and also teaching those to the family, because there will definitely be people listening now that is like, my partner never puts things away in the laundry basket or in the dishwasher. My children never empty the dishwasher, never put stuff in the dishwasher. So it's not just like a solo person thing. It's a whole family thing.
Absolutely. And that's what I often say to people is that, it might work for you, but it does also have to work with everybody else in the household. So get everybody on board. Say, okay, this is where we're going to keep things from now on. So as long as you get it in this particular, I'll sort it out once it's there, but please put everything in this area, and do it as a family, do it as a household. And then that does make things slightly easier. It's not going to.
And I guess it's almost like, it's like you train your body to exercise, don't you? So it's almost like you've got to train your brain to to tidy as well. It's like, it's just like an unused muscle that we're not using, and we just need to learn to flex it and use it a little bit. And the more we do it, the more you get into the habits of doing it. But yeah,
definitely. And also, I mean, the whole thing about decluttering is that you're reducing the things that you've got in your house. I think this was it's one of those things that is not a big thing, a light bulb moment, but for me, that it just occurred to me one day, well, if I'm cleaning and I don't like dusting, why do I have things that I need to clean and move to dust?
Yes, it's a choice.
Like a big thing, but suddenly I was like, why have I got 3 things on each windowsill? That means that every windowsill I've got to take things off it. That's that one thing on, and that's only one thing to lift off. And it just sometimes simple things, just to make life easy for yourself.
I love that.
Having less things is by far the easiest way of staying more organized, having less to clean, less to put away. If you've got a whole drawer of T-shirts, then that's a whole drawer you've got to sort out. If you've only got half a drawer, then it, automatically you've halved your work. So thinking of having less, bringing less into the house, is the way forward, really, not having as much as you need to have. And it doesn't make it easier these days when you go shopping. So like, I have hair bubbles in my hair. You go and buy it and you get a packet of 50 hair bubbles, and I don't want 50 hair bubbles. But you buy things, you can't just buy one hair bubble. Well, you probably can in Claire's accessories, but it's got a unicorn on it. I don't know.
You look right with a unicorn in your hair.
You might have passed those days, but anyway. But you know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to buy things in bulk, but you can't just buy one of something. Like you need a new pen. So either you go to a shop that just sells individual pens, or you buy a pack of 10 pens,
and the rest go in the junk drawers.
And exactly. So you're already, just it's thinking about what comes into your house as much as what goes out. What are you bringing in?
I think we accumulate a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
And also, we've probably all got something in our house that somebody bought us that we think, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I'll keep it there just in case they ever come to visit. And do you know what? They probably would never notice. You've got many rooms maybe in your house.
Or they've forgotten that they bought it you anyway.
So for me, it's like I've travelled all over the world, and I have picked up all sorts of random things that I think one day when I own my own property, which I do now, I'll put that out. But I'm only in a 1-bedroom property at the moment, and I just don't have the surface space to display some of these things. But I won't get rid of them because they are memories of my travels, and they're okay at the moment. When I'm in my mansion, I'll, be able to put them all out on the wall, all the artwork and stuff. But like coasters, I've got coasters from all over the world. So I'm just like, can't physically have this many drinks. So I maybe need to go through those at some point.
Maybe, or just get them out and use them. I think sometimes we have things like that and we put them away, don't we? And think, I'll use them one day. But I was, like they say, you should use your best crockery for every day. Don't just save it for the special occasions, because every day really is a special day that we've got, isn't it? We don't know what's going to happen in the future. So use the special things. Use the things that you like. Use your nice cup rather than the one that's got the chip in it, because that's your drink. You're enjoying it, and make it special. Even a cup of tea rather than having the chipped cup. Use your nice cup.
Get rid of the chipped cup. Buy you're worth a fully formed cup.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Oh, Nina, it's been blinking lovely. I've loved talking to you. I could talk to you for hours. Where are you based in the UK?
So I'm at West Oxfordshire.
So obviously you do in-person things in and around your area, I guess. And then everybody else you can help online. Awesome. Well, okay, Nina, if people are thinking, I need a Nina in my life, because I think everybody's probably nodding along thinking, I need Nina in my life, or at least some skills that she can share with me. How do people find you, get in touch with you, contact you?
So you can get in touch on my website, which is www.theorganiserpod.co.uk. And there's a contact form on there. You just need to put your details in there. And then I arrange a free 30-minute consultation where we just chat like I'm chatting to you now and find out what areas you need help with and where we can go from there.
Amazing. And I'll put that link in to the show notes as well. And then you're on socials as well, aren't you?
On social, yeah, on Facebook and on Instagram, yeah.
At the Organised Pod.
At the Organised Pod, yeah.
Excellent. Oh, Nina, it's been awesome. Right, I'm going to try and summarize, take away some of the key best bits. So are you ready for this? Okay, so number one, try and have a place where things go and either time yourself, so just give yourself a short burst of doing it, or do it in the ad break like we talked about. And you can do that with cleaning and tidying. So just literally ad break, put it away, or time yourself and then treat yourself afterwards to watching your favorite TV program, or having that glass of wine, or having that chocolate, whatever it is. Number two, think logically where things should go and do everything in small, manageable sections. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, one piece at a time, small, manageable sections, and just sit and have a think, take your time to do it and think logically, right, where does this go? Where does this go? Yep. Number three, and I probably should have started with this one, declutter before organising.
Absolutely,
because
all the time.
then you've got less to organise.
Exactly, yeah.
And then was that number five? I don't know what number I'm up to. So get it all out and then ask yourself the questions. Do I like it? Does it suit me? Does it fit me? And when did I last wear it for your clothes? Or when did I last use it for anything else? And then just separate into different piles, keep or discard. Try and work out a system that works for you and your family. And if I love this point, it's actually like a life-changing moment, what you said about if you don't like cleaning and dusting, then why have you got so much stuff to clean and dust? Declutter. Get rid of some of it. So then you don't have to do the thing that you don't like for as much time.
Exactly.
So then finally, always use the best stuff. We don't know how long we've got left in life. So use the best crockery, wear the best underwear, treat yourself to the best things, get rid of the chipped mug and enjoy using what you've already got. So that's been fabulous. Nina, thank you ever so much for sharing your knowledge with us and for spending time with me today. I feel like I need you in my life. I'm motivated now. On a high, I'm going to go and declutter some things.
Yeah, well, have fun.
Excellent. Thank you ever so much, Nina. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening today. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. And as always, any links or anything mentioned will be in the show notes. If you haven't connected with me already, I'd love to meet you. So come find me on Instagram at Debbie Westwell. You can always slide into my DMs and let me know what you thought about this episode. Or why not join my Facebook community, the Alchemy of Self-Care free community. You can also find out how to work with me at debbiewestwell.com. If you like what you hear, then please follow me or hit the bell icon. Share with somebody like you who would benefit from listening. And if you have time, then leave me a positive review and that would be fabulous. Thank you for being your wonderful self, and I can't wait to chat next time.